Hi everyone. We'll take a quick look at the 25.4 key features. Among the key features, we will cover the SAP ArchiveLink connector, a new tech preview for modern UI on the web client, SharePoint Online Framework update, and mobile app support for barcode scanning. OpenText Content Manager integrates with SAP, which allows the SAP system to be configured to use Content Manager records and document management capabilities to manage electronic documents. As part of our collaboration strategy, we are taking the next step towards owning and optimizing this technology by developing our own connector that uses the ArchiveLink protocol. This new in-house connector replaces the third-party dependencies with a robust in-house engineered solution built on the trusted ArchiveLink protocol. It is designed for long-term compatibility with SAP S/4HANA, thus providing enhanced reliability as it is developed in-house, fully supported by OpenText engineering and support, ensuring faster response times and a future-proof integration. There is no longer a lengthy setup process that requires customers to contact third-party vendors as seen in the previous deployment. It is a simplified and streamlined setup that supports OpenID and Windows integrated authentication. The deployment process is simple, as you will see in a couple of slides next, and has a transparent architecture that aligns with enterprise IT standards. This connector has been designed to ensure backward compatibility with the CM SAP data generated from the previous connector. The SAP connector is a paid offering with usage-based pricing, and for a limited time, we are offering priority onboarding and migration support to a select number of customers. As I mentioned earlier, this connector marks a strategic move towards owning and optimizing our integration technology, delivering a solution that's not just familiar, it's also better. The connector module has a server component that is hosted on IIS and acts as a connector between SAP system and the Content Manager application. As I mentioned, it supports the integrated and the confidential client authentication methods. Now, as you can see on this image, the SAP system and the connector use HTTPS with a valid certificate for communication. And the connection between the connector and the Content Manager is via SDK. The transaction process is simple. The SAP certificate validation and content repository registration happens via the connector module with CM. Then the SAP system requests are validated against the certificate provided by the connector module. The Content Manager then executes the connector requests after this validation. We'll do a quick demo that covers the installation configuration, SAP content repo settings, record type settings, repo management, admin UI, ingesting documents from SAP, and followed by some statistics. As you can see, we have bundled the new MSI as part of the CM build. And as I mentioned, this is a IIS setup. So you will need to be able to provide all of the information required to configure the IIS pool. A prerequisite for this installation is obviously that Content Manager needs to be installed prior. Now, once the installation is configured, you can see the IIS entry is now created. You can verify this very easily. And once the verification is done, you will need to update the app setting JSON file with few more information. We need to set the database ID and the trusted user for who who will use this connection. Now moving on to the HANA interface, we'll take a look at all of the content repo, and we will need to create the CM repo. In this case, we have already created one. We have named it CM. A couple of things to keep in mind. You will have to choose the correct settings. The document area is ArchiveLink because the connector uses the ArchiveLink protocol. And then we need to set the storage type as the HTTP content server. We need to update the HTTP server itself as the CM address, followed by HTTP script and HTTP as front end. Then we need to click on the send certificate, which basically sends the certificate to the connector. And this connector uses this certificate to validate all of the requests into CM. Now we switch back to desktop client from administrator, other SAP content repo. We will need to enable this newly created repo. By default, it is not enabled. We'll need to manually enable this for all of the transactions to happen next. Once we create this repo, we'll take a look at the SAP record type. So we'll need to create the SAP record type. And as part of the SAP settings, we'll need to define the SAP repository name, which we had initially given as CM. And the record template, which is important because this later reflects all the information around repo name, document ID, version update, and other details. So once we have this, we go back into the SAP interface and we'll now create a purchase requisition order, and we will attach a document to it for it to use the, and then configure it to use the CM repo. So from the SAP side, the document type needs to be associated with the business objects, like the purchase requisition. In this case, that is in turn connected to a repo. In this case, we have already configured this with CM for CM, and we will just use that here. We'll use that document type here. Once we do that, we select the actual document, provide a brief description of it, and save the document. Once that's done, the SAP system now uses the repo communication channel to push it to CM desktop client. We do a quick search, and as you can see, the CM record is created according to the record template that we saw earlier. So repo name, document ID, version, update, and other details. You can also check the attached document additional details on the SAP component tabs. And then we'll take a quick preview. It's the same document that was created in SAP Business Objects. Next, we'll take a look at the statistics that is captured using the connector. So from setup information, we can go into software licenses, browse into the SAP repo transaction counters, and select CM as the repo, which captures all of the transaction counters for each type of process. So create, update, delete, every transaction is captured here. So that's the brief demo on SAP. Thank you for attending. Have a great day.